Good morning, everybody. Today is January 22nd, 2026. It is 10:30 a.m. in the morning. This video is going to be for walk 509, and then afterwards I will do 510. Okay, so I have two topics today, and I'm trying to decide which one to talk about first. So one of the topics is about, and this is an actual story of what happened, of my scary hotel stay, and the other one is about YouTube Shorts. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get the treadmill up and running, and then after that I can decide which one I want to talk about first. Maybe let's do the scary hotel story first, and then we'll talk about the shorts after. Okay, so once again, excuse me, it is freezing out here. We actually have a freeze warning, and I think it's supposed to rain tonight and get even colder than what it is right now. So let me tell you, that is not helping right now, but I'm just going to try and push myself through these two walks. So let me go ahead and get us up to speed. And you know what? Excuse me, before I do that, let me see if drinking some water will help. Like I said, I'm trying a new technique with brushing my teeth. I was told not to rinse, wait 15 minutes and then use the mouthwash. And so it's like, I'm getting used to like the taste and stuff like that and not feeling the need to constantly spit, but at the same time, my throat is dry. And then, like I said, it doesn't help that it's, excuse me, freezing cold out here. Okay. So let's see what happens. I'm going to try and speed it up quicker than what I usually do. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but we're about to find out. Okay, so I actually had forgot that I wanted that to be a part of my topic for yesterday. And remember, yesterday I was going to walk both of the 40 minutes and not record, and I ended up not doing that. I actually ended up having a topic. Okay, so we're at 1.6. Okay, so it stopped and gave a DO2 error code. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know, you guys. I might actually have to switch back to that other treadmill, which means I'm going to have to decrease my incline, and then that's going to change not only my challenge, but results, right? Okay, so have no clue, but since it didn't turn off, let's start it again. And let's see what happens. I can't even say that I'm not even expecting for this to happen anymore. If I can't walk at least at a speed of 2, then I don't think I'm going to see my weight results I'm looking for and my measurement results and things like that. I don't think walking at that slow of a pace will do much. I mean, it's good to get out here and to get moving, but I don't know, maybe I should just be happy that the treadmill still inclines at this point. And then, like I said, I may actually have to lower my incline. Maybe it doesn't like being at incline 15 anymore. And maybe I sped it up too fast. Okay, so let's see, we made it up to what was like, what, 1 point, I'm tongue-tied now, 1.5. And I don't know, maybe it just doesn't work that well in colder climates, but it acts like this when it's warm too, so. And also, there's no warranty either. They said that there was and there wasn't. So having someone come out to fix it is not an option unless we just found somebody in town that knows how to work on them. This is going to push me to talk to the owner of the fitness center here because I need a reliable treadmill. That's 1.6. It's 1.7. And that makes me wonder if it's even going to work for the second walk. I didn't even think about that. That's 2. That's 2.2. Ooh, I did not mean to go up that fast. That was 2.4. We got one more. I'm debating on leaving it. Okay, that's 2.5. So let's see what happens. And I'm not sure. I'm going to say that was only like, what, maybe a minute, maybe 2. So we're going to credit the 2 minutes. Okay. So my scary hotel story. We went out of town about, I'd say 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. And we were in a hotel room. I'm actually going to tell you the number. It was 3006, if I remember correctly. And I don't know if I want to tell the name of the hotel. So I'll decide while I'm telling you guys the rest of the story. So we get there, everything is fine at first. And I want to say, I don't remember if we made it through the first night. I'm trying to remember how long we were there. I don't even think we were there for a complete 2 days. Like, we got there that night. Then, let's see, I think my husband went to work. And then I think we stayed another night and we left the following morning. So yeah, it wasn't a complete 48 hours. Okay, so I think the first night was, let me think about that. Yeah, the first night was fine. So this is the second night. This started at around 11 p.m. If I say midnight, that's the next morning, right? So my husband can sleep through just about anything. Me, on the other hand, not so much the case. So I was laying there watching TV. I had ate some food that made me sick. I can't remember what it was, but I wasn't feeling well. And as the night progressed, I just kept feeling worse. So I was in there trying to fall asleep. The TV's on. And I'm hearing breathing, like heavy breathing. And so I'm thinking, like, what's that noise? Right? I look over towards the door. I don't see anything. And so the night goes on. Then I see a digital clock on the ceiling. Green numbers, bright green. And I got to thinking. And it was flashing at first. And I thought, oh yeah, I need to set the clock that is next to my side of the bed. And I thought, well, one, it wouldn't be laying on its back. It would be facing the closet, and all you would see is a flashing light. I don't think you'd be able to see numbers as well. Then I realized, wait a second, there's no clock in this room at all. There's no digital clock on my side of the bed or his. There's no analog clock in there. There's no clock. It's really dark in the room. The only light that was in there was the TV, or from the TV. So I told myself, you know how when you're watching, let's say, a movie, and you're like, no, don't go see what the noise is. What are you doing? And you never run up the stairs, right? So I thought, do not turn on your light next to your bed, because you can see well enough to know. Mind you, my glasses were off, because like I said, I was trying to go to sleep, that there's no clock there. And I said, no, you have to turn on the light. Just to prove to yourself there's no clock in the room, which you should know, because your eyesight's not that bad. You can see that there's nothing there except for your cell phones and your water bottle, or cell phone and water bottle. And then I don't think I brought my watch, or one of my watches. And I had something else sitting there. It might have been a pack of like gummy worms or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. So, mind you, it's the phone I'm recording with. Okay, it's the Z Fold 2. And so now it's late enough to where I have my always on display set to go off. It goes off at midnight. So nothing will be shining from my phone. I put on my glasses, I turn the light. Of course, there's no clock. The numbers are still there, but now it's just the numbers, and they're bright green. There's no flashing light behind them. The light was kind of like a yellow. At that point, I don't even know if I asked my husband if he saw the numbers on the ceiling. I think I did, and I think he said no. And then the breathing started again. And I asked him, did you hear the breathing? And he said no. Now by this time, it's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And you can hear people getting ready. Okay, so you can hear the person next door. You can hear a person talking out in the hallway, all extra loud. And so I told him, I said, no, that breathing is coming from inside of the room, just like it was earlier last night. So he tells me, well, I'm not leaving until later this morning. Just try to go to sleep. I'm here. I said, okay. The numbers, they didn't stay. They stayed for about 10, 15 minutes, went away, and on and off throughout the night, they would come back. They weren't flashing or anything like that. They were just solid numbers. And I can't remember the time. I should have paid more attention. I'm kind of remembering 11:45, maybe 12:45, and I don't think 12:15. Those two numbers when I looked. And I thought about that movie, In Time. I don't know if you've seen it. It has Justin Timberlake in it. The main thing about the movie is that when they turn 25, which I'm way older than, right? My birthday's this Sunday, I'll be 44. And so this digital clock at a certain age with bright green numbers appears on their arm. And I don't know if there's other writing on their arm, but if there is, I think it's in bright green. So it reminded me of that. And I thought, well, at least the numbers weren't counting down like on that movie. If you haven't seen it and you're into sci-fi, it's a really good movie to watch. It makes you wonder And then I don't know who wrote it, but it's an interesting concept, right? So now I'm thinking about this movie, not remembering the name of it, just telling myself, at least the numbers are not going down, even though he doesn't see them. And no, I'm not crazy. Okay, so by this time, I hear the shower. And he was waking up on and off. And I asked him, I said, do you hear the shower? He said, no, there's no one taking a shower in here. And I said, okay, so you don't hear the water. Like seriously, the shower head was a pretty good size. The showers were pretty good size. The door's open. We did leave the light on in the bathroom. But it sounds just like, let's say you're doing something in the room and you can hear someone in the shower. Except all you hear is water. So, of course, just my luck, I had to go to the restroom. And I was just like, okay, this is one of those moments where, no, you don't go see what the noise is. But in your case, you have to use the restroom. Now, if the water is on, you can tell him, I'm pretty sure he'll get out of bed and come look to verify that, yes, you were hearing water. So, it's the longest walk of my life. The room is a pretty good size, but it doesn't take me long to get to the bathroom. And I walk in, I look to the right, no water running. I use the restroom. I walk out of the restroom thinking, or bathroom, actually, right? How long is it going to take before I hear the water again? Because let me tell you, my fight or flight response has increased. Before, I would stop to look, at least to see in the direction I felt I should run. Now, I just go and run in that direction. And I'm trying to stay calm. But in the past 2-3 months, a couple of things have happened, and I just bolted. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But this was not one of those times. Probably because I wasn't feeling well, and I kind of didn't care. It would have been worse if the water was running, right? So at least it wasn't running. So I get back to the bed. I don't hear it anymore. And I can't remember if it started back. But about 30 minutes to an hour later, the breathing. I remember hearing footsteps, just breathing. I asked him again. We just so happened to both be awake at the same time again. Do you hear that? He says no. I'm like, okay, I've been hearing heavy breathing while you were asleep before you woke up just now. I don't hear anything. And like you said, people are still continuing to get ready for work or wherever they're going because now it's closer to about 7 a.m. So I said, okay, I'm just going to stop saying things to him and asking him questions. I look back up at the ceiling. The digital clock is back. And then eventually the breathing stops. The clock stays in the ceiling for a little bit longer. And it goes away. And I'm trying to remember if there was anything else scary. But let's do a time check. We're 15 minutes, 13 seconds, and we're going to count the 2 minutes. So it would be 17. Okay, so let me know if you have experienced anything like that. Now, what are my thoughts? What are a couple of ideas? The breathing, I can't explain it. I can hear it as clear as day. The digital clock, the only explanation I have is the fact that if I remember correctly, I've seen this movie and I watched it all the way through. I didn't remember really any of the details until I read about it today before I came out here. And so that's the only thing I can think of. Where else have I seen something like that? But here's the thing. Keep in mind, I was awake, not asleep. It's not a scary dream. I'm actually awake, seeing all this stuff and hearing it. Now, if you're listening to this story, whether you know me or not, you're probably going to try to give me some words of encouragement. Even if you think it's something bad, you might tell me, oh, just do this, and that won't happen again. Because we're going back to the same hotel. And I'm going to tell you, something always happens there. But not, at least in my experience, paranormal. It'd be something like the elevator isn't working. Excuse me. Or one time my husband was there during a storm and the wind blew out the glass of the window of his room. So things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. So I told him, I said, well, for one, it's going to be really cold. For two, like you said, hopefully there won't be ice on the ground. For three, he also told me it would be snowing on the way over there and possibly there. So I'm debating about not going. But if I do, we will not be staying in room 36, or I was trying to say 3006. We will not be staying in room 3006. Now, some people listening to this, you might just want to know what city, what state, what hotel, so that you don't stay there at all. Because hearing something like that, whether you've experienced anything, I don't know if you call it paranormal, supernatural, whatever, you're probably thinking, I don't want to start. And what if something is tied to that hotel, or specifically to that room? But I have a feeling that if I talk to my husband, he might say, you know, it's good that you didn't say the hotel name or city or state. Not trying to go through any type of lawsuits or anything or whatever else could happen. And the thing about it is, I'm probably already going to have people watch this video making comments telling me that didn't happen. Well, you had to be there. Now, I would have to say, most of the things I've had happen, they're similar to that. I've experienced on my own, except recently within about the past 4 to 5 years. And I would hear something and I would ask the other people in the room, you hear that too, right? Yeah, they would say. And I was like, okay. And we would all just sit there on our phones, just acting like nothing's happening. So I am not quite sure why he wasn't able to hear or see anything. There's been other things that have happened where we have heard and seen the same thing, my husband and I. So why only me this time? I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't scare him either, so I usually would say, I hope that most people don't have these experiences because it is scary. Sometimes it's annoying, but most of the time it's scary. So in this case, knowing that he wouldn't have been scared, I would have rathered that he heard or saw something. At least the clock. And I remember, it's kind of funny, I was telling him the story the other day. And when I mentioned the digital clock and told him that, and I think I told him I was going to talk about it on the walk, one of my walks, that I don't remember asking him if he could see it. But if I did, I think he said no. And so I told him, so I'm going to ask you now, because I don't remember asking you in the hotel, did you see those green digital clock numbers on the ceiling? And he said no. I said, they were very bright. You really didn't see them? And he said no. And it was more so on my side of the bed. The bed was by the window. And it wasn't directly above me. I think that would have been even more creepy, right? So yeah. I have no clue, no other explanation as to what was going on. All I know is I do remember it stopped before he left. So, a couple of things. Some people would say, don't acknowledge, right? Well, I'm not blind. It's not like I was expecting anything to happen. But it seems to me the older I get, the worse it gets. And a lot of people will say it's a spiritual thing. Okay. Some people might even tell me to pray. Who said I don't or didn't? I mean, if that's your only suggestion, thank you for the kind words of concern and probably your certainty, oh, I'm sure it'll work. But I would have to say maybe I just need to keep doing that until things stop. But I can tell you it hasn't worked so far. So I know there might be certain people I know personally just don't even bother telling me that. Honestly, because if it is going to stop, it's going to stop whatever's happening throughout my life when it stops. None of us have control over this. And I'm sure you don't have an explanation either. Well, there might be a couple of other things. The DEMON thing, ick thing, but even if so, that doesn't change the fact that it hasn't stopped. So whatever the reason, whatever it is, whatever your opinion is, remember, not to be mean, but it's just an opinion. You know nothing more than what I do. They're just assumptions. And if that is the case, that's not good anyway. I have like an eyelash in my eye or something. Okay, so we're at 24 minutes, 48 seconds. If you would like to share your stories, I'm interested to hear them. And I am sorry if you go through things that I go through. Because I don't invite whatever's going on. And I'm starting to think that that's not true. That's just on TV. You don't have to. There are things that just exist. Some are explainable, most aren't. Okay, so now let's talk about the YouTube shorts. So I made a very short video yesterday, and honestly, I didn't want it to be a short. And I found, even though most of the time I talk really fast, that if I slow down, that it will probably be longer than a minute anyway. But, and that's one thing I forgot to check. I'll check and I'll let you guys know in the next video, is when you watch a short, now that it can be up to 3 minutes, does it now count towards watch hours? I don't think it does. I think it still counts towards the views of the shorts. But yeah, that's what I found out yesterday. I don't know when it happened, but on Google when I did the search, it said it was to give the content creator more time to talk about what they're talking about and to show the items that they're showing. But for a person with, I would say, I have a small channel. I'm thankful for every subscriber that I have and that I'll get in the future. Thank you for your time and your subscriptions. But now, the purpose of me having my YouTube channel is to become monetized, which now they call earned. The way I understand it is that once you are approved, if, I should say, to earn, and let's just say you didn't even remember to apply when you reach the first milestone, because now there's 2 milestones. Let's just say you just keep going until you get to the 5,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. Or, let's see, let me think, between the 5,000 watch hours, the other alternative, the other qualification that you can meet is the 10 million views in 90 days. That's the second milestone. That used to be the only thing they had. The first milestone is 500 subscribers in either A, 3,000 watch hours within 365 days, or B, 3 million short views within 90 days. Either way it goes, you still have to pick a video and apply for it to be monetized and wait to see if it's approved. And I don't know if it has to have ads, but I believe so. Now my walk and talks, I think only a few might have ads. I am not really concerned with getting these monetized. If I can start earning from them, fine. If not, that's okay. But I have some older videos and a recent video of the luxury off-the-road vehicle, the Earth Roamer, let's see, 2.0, I think SX. And that video took off. It's doing very well. So for sure, that's one of the videos I would request to see if I can earn from it. But I have to reach the first milestone before I can apply. So on one hand, with the shorts being able to be 3 minutes, that may, I don't know, or may not increase the views for your shorts. On the other hand, my thought process is that now it's going to be even harder to get watch hours. Because you might be that person where your videos are only about 2 minutes. Let's say 90% of them. Now they're all going to be considered shorts. Now the ones that fill the category of a minute or less, I don't know. I don't know if that still qualifies. Well, yes, it would have to, because now you have 3 minutes. Just thought about that. And the views are the views regardless. But yeah, I told myself, don't rush, take your time. The video's not going to be that long either way. But I would prefer if it was longer than a minute. Because by the time I would get close to it, I would mess up, stop it, erase it, and do it again anyway. So yeah, getting the watch hours is kind of difficult. I mean, you have some people, they have a great channel, they have a great topic, they're very informative, and they talk about all different types of things. Sci-fi things, astronomy, how to do certain things to your car, you know, things like that. Then you have, I was trying to hair here, then you have other people, they make cute animal videos. Oh, look at the cat playing with the yarn. More recently, I think we're starting to see the birds, the parakeets and the parrots saying funny things or dancing to music. And then you have the other people where they're skiing off a roof and their numbers are just skyrocketing. And I told myself early on, when I finally decided to take a crack at this and say, okay, I'm gonna see if I can start earning with YouTube for my channel, I am not willing to break an arm or a leg to do it. It might be slightly funny at the time. Let's just say I don't get that hurt. But if you think about it, when we hit our knee, our elbow, sometimes when we fall, we laugh, right? So knowing that sometimes it could be just an accident, the camera's still rolling, the person's nowhere near it, and they're just trying to get up. One of those videos, let's say, where it snowed and the driveway has ice and the person slips, or the stairs coming from their front door. Those aren't planned. That just happens. I don't want anything like that to happen either. Now, as you can see, I do keep my phone recording unless I think whatever I need to fix is going to take too long. And I do little to no editing. So I always tell you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, raw, uncut, unfiltered. I try to watch my language so I don't have to say sensory advisory or something like that. So I don't have to worry about the uncensored part. I've actually done pretty well. But yeah, those are my mixed feelings about now the shorts being able to be 3 minutes. Some people don't want to watch a video that long. And so when you think about it, 3 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but it is. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll take a look at my views for my shorts right now so far. I think it's at like 3,500. And I'm gonna see how much it increases. And maybe that will help, maybe it won't. But whatever happens, happens. So let me scan over this paragraph, look if we can see if I missed something, because I actually didn't read the paragraph. I just went off memory of what I wrote. Oh, okay, so of course, trying to increase watch hours, being that I feel that it's hard, but it's easier to reach that 3,000 hours than that 3 million views. I mean, you have more time. You have 365 days versus 90. I am thinking that, I've seen people have shown how much they've made or are making, and it might not be worth it. It might not be worth trying to make the video a video when I don't want it to be a short. Usually when I make a short, it's on purpose. So now I'll just be making videos and seeing what happens. I mean, because of course, for example, like this walk, it's 40 minutes. That's just how long I picked. So of course, it's gonna be past 3 minutes. It won't be a short anyway. And then I even wrote that I'm recording right now because this is part of what motivates me to walk. That And even though I would stop backwards, I would like to stop having to have blood tests every 6 months. I am now curious what the next results are going to be if I say consistent, and I have to decide what I consider consistent. Maybe walking 80 minutes every day, especially since we go out of town sometimes. That may not, or actually that is not possible. I would have to bring my ring light, set up and walk on a different treadmill. But without the incline, I mean, it's really not a part of my challenge. It doesn't fit. Plus, even if I'm out of town with him for work, since I can work from anywhere, I take my work with me. So I don't want to make the time. I just want to do my work and wait until he comes back. And if we're on vacation, I'm not one of those people that will work out on my vacation. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know what top of my shirt looks like. I'm pretty sure it's sweaty. My face is sweating. My scalp is sweating. I really do not want to go through that on vacation. And if I've just gotten my hair dyed, like this week, the more I wash it, the more my dye is going to come out. But it's the same thing as like cooking on your vacation. Some people do it and they like to. I don't like to cook, period, anyway. But on vacation, no. That's not a vacation. So I try to make my leisure time as, is leisurely a word? As leisure as possible. As relaxing, I guess, as possible. For it to serve its purpose. You need a break sometimes. And if I keep all my receipts in one place, I could literally just catch up on my work when we come back. And then sometimes we're visiting with family and friends, and so I'd rather spend my time with him. So you will, I just realized, can't say that on the video. I was gonna say it will be a cold day, and yeah, you know the rest of that sentence. But I know they say never, but for now, I'm gonna say never. You probably will never see me do a video on a treadmill at a hotel. That completely defeats the purpose of going away from my house. So we're 39 minutes, 22 seconds. I'm gonna say, I hope you guys are doing well right now, because if I'm gonna do this second walk, I need to just stop my video, turn on my TV, move my ring light out of the way, and get right back on this thing. If I walk out that door to go back into my house, I do not see me coming back out here. I'm hungry too. So yeah, the second walk, I'm not feeling doing it today. We're at 40 minutes, even 1.6 for distance, 172 calories. All right, you guys, stay safe, have a great workout, a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.